Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, yesterday I did a video on why neobanks in India are facing challenges. And one of the primary reasons why it's facing challenges has been regulations. Now, of course, there are many reasons why there are lots of regulations in India because primarily because the inflow and outflow of funds. There are a lot of those fraudsters who are using that inflow and outflow as a means to push in anti-money laundering into the country and taking money out of the country. So that and digital banks or neobanks usually, without a proper regulation and without the governing bank licensing, offering proper license to neobanks, it's quite a difficult situation to be in for neobanks. Now, what has also happened is the traditional banks have been ramping up the technology capabilities, and they're digitizing the banks. I'm not just talking about digital banking, but they're using various other tech companies to offer tech-driven value-added services to the customers. Hence, that becomes a new business opportunity for these banks. So today in this particular video, we're going to talk about primarily that, how tech startups are helping the digitization of banks in India. And that's all under the Digital India initiative by the government of India. So before we dive in, please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, please smash that notification bell, please comment on my videos, and please share my videos with people who you think would benefit from my research, from my knowledge, and from my videos. So before further ado, let's start. So before we start, as you know, I have an ebook. This particular ebook is on my journey as an entrepreneur. The book is titled Six-Figure Corporate Job to Master Entrepreneur. This book essentially covers the time when I decided to quit my six-figure globetrotting corporate job back in 2010. So I did do a fair amount of homework before I actually jumped into the bandwagon of an entrepreneur. So the book talks about that. It also talks about the challenges I faced as an entrepreneur, and it also talks about how I overcame those challenges as an entrepreneur. Now, this book also, in this particular book, I've also put down 3 worksheets. Now, these worksheets are essentially meant to gauge your mind to see how prepared you are to becoming an entrepreneur. So, so there are certain questions in those worksheets. You have to answer them, and you score certain points. And then at the end, using a statistical method, you add up the score, and the final score will tell you would actually put you under one of the 3 categories of whether you are likely to be a successful engineer, or you need to work on it, or you're probably not meant to be an entrepreneur at all. So based on that score, you will put you in one of those 3 categories. And so that's the entirety of the book. I have also done this. I've taken the same test through the 3 worksheets based on my mindset back in 2010, and you would see how much I scored. And you would also know how successful I am with 2 companies today, one in Singapore, one in India, and representations in the North American markets, in the US. So the book is available for totally free of charge to all of you. It's available on my website. The URL is flashing on the screen. I'll put the URL in the description box below. Then all you have to do is click on it, put down your name and email address, and the link to download the book will be emailed to your inbox. I hope you like the book. Do give me your honest feedback on the book. Now let's talk about the banks in India. So we'll talk about how the banking, digital banking, or the banking system has changed or has improved because of COVID. So COVID-19 has been sympathetic to the cause of technology companies as manual processes have moved to digital at a much faster pace through 2020 because everybody was working from home. So that's why the digital pace has improved. That is why some techies in India prefer to identify the pandemic as a watershed moment in the use of technology in their daily lives, or in our daily lives when you talk about the techies. That has helped many banking and financial services players to strike deals with banks and other legacy institutions quickly compared to the pre-COVID days, which is quite obvious. Many deals have been struck within weeks, which were pending for months, since COVID made physical processes almost untenable and egged bankers to deploy tech solutions quickly. COVID has certainly increased the urge amongst banks to digitize further. That's very true. And that's been a scenario all around the world. Banks in India today are at the forefront of fintech-based disruption. So they are leading it. Of course, there are a lot of tech companies, neobanks, and tech startups or fintech startups also in that process of disruption, disrupting the banking system or the financial system. But banks have found this as an opportunity and they're leading it primarily because they have the license from the Reserve Bank of India, the governing bank, to do banking in a proper manner with compliance, keeping in mind the needed compliance. So now let's talk about how they're ramping up the banking game. How are these banks ramping up the banking game using technology? First, in India, most of the public sector lenders are much slower to deploy new technology than the private banks. But COVID has changed that equation, which is true. See, the public sector or the PSU bank, public sector unit banks, have been pretty slow in doing that. But the private banks like ICICI, HDFC, Axis Bank, and all those other banks are really on the mark. New lenders like small finance banks, IDFC First Bank, and Bandhan Bank are using the latest tech stacks to make their offerings at par with fintech and are competing with startups too. That is a new opportunity for the tech companies. Banks have realized that they can create their own neobanking businesses by adopting the next-gen technology stack offered by the new gen technology partners. So they are taking over, they are trying to adopt and adapt the technology, the neobanking system within their own banking infrastructure offering. Banks are now offering tech layer for gold loans, agri loans, credit cards, home loans, fund transfer in small finance space, bill payments, and other similar products. Digitizing credit portfolio and lending can guarantee new business growth. So what the new technology game has offered to the traditional banks is that new business opportunities have opened up for them. And there are about 65% of India's population is below the age of 35. Hence, those are the people who are lapping up, who are tech savvy, who use technology and mobile applications, and they are using all these technology driven services, banking services from the traditional banks. So it's a win-win situation for both banks and the tech companies. So what I could say is that, as a summary, there's a massive opportunity for the tech companies here, along with the banks, to grow and offer new services to those young population of India. So overall, it's a win-win situation, and it augurs well also with the Digital India initiative by the government of India. So it's really working very well. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, yesterday I did a video on neobanks, the challenges that they face, or digital banks that they face. I reckon digital banks will eventually get the nod or license from the Reserve Bank of India. It will probably take some time, but not too much time. I think the RBI will offer them the licenses. They need to get the regulations in place first. So I will put so that particular video that I did yesterday, I will put it in the card above, the link to that video. Go take a look at it. It talks about the challenges that the banks are facing currently. So, that's it, guys. And the last point is banks are far more proactive in new tech adoption than before, which is very, very true. It's given. So, thank you very much for your patience, for listening to me. As you know, my name is Saurav Mukherjee. I'm a digital and technology marketing leader with over 20 years of global experience. You will find my LinkedIn URL in the description box below. Click on it, go take a look at my LinkedIn profile, and feel free to connect with me. I regularly work with clients where I help them find solutions to their business, marketing, technological, and investment challenges. If your company or your startup is looking to engage me or hire me as a consultant, you could write to me on LinkedIn, or you could write to me on the contact page of my website. I'll put down the link to the contact page of my website in the description box below. Then we can jump into a conference call, Zoom call, Microsoft Teams call, whatever call, and we'll see how we can work together. So before I end, well, thank you very much again. Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, please smash the notification bell, please comment on my videos, and please share my videos. So until next time, you stay safe and stay healthy, and I shall see you soon. Bye-bye.